Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning. So, all right, first off, let me apologize for no live stream last night. I know that everybody was wondering what was going on at 8:30 when all of a sudden I came in and said I had to cancel. Uh, wasn't planned. I mean, after a day of planting potatoes and mowing the lawn and tilling a couple of gardens and building some shutters, we had a house emergency last night. I mean, physical building. Don't worry, everybody's fine. No damage or anything like that. But we had some worrisome moments and some very frustrating moments at the time last night. And finally, we got it resolved just short of 10 o'clock. So, my apologies for having to cancel, but that's what sometimes life gets in the way of YouTube. Just sorry, that's what it is. So, in the time that we were supposed to be doing the live stream, which was going to be very interesting last night, we had the potential first volley of a potential world war. It's kind of interesting last night. By now, probably everybody's heard or seen that Iran decided to lob some cruise missiles and drones at Israel last night, our time. Okay. Nothing hit, of course. The U.S. claims we shot down 12 of the drones and or missiles. The Iron Dome took care of the rest of them. That's a good thing. The bad thing is the U.S.'s response to this. Okay. Weak leadership is an understatement out of this White House, no question. And just to see what was going on, I mean, Biden's quote yesterday talking about this, and this is kind of where I'm going with this. This is what he said. We are devoted to the defense of Israel. We will support Israel. We will help defend Israel, and Iran will not succeed. Okay, so please explain to me why the quote also couldn't be said, we are devoted to the defense of Israel, we will support Israel, we will help defend Israel, and Hamas will never succeed. Oh, we can't do that. I guess that's because we have a Palestinian congresswoman, but we don't have any Iranian congresswomen, right? Just saying. I guess Biden is not so worried about the Iranian American vote as he is about the Palestinian American vote, right? Okay. This is the thing. You can't play both sides against the middle in politics, in diplomacy, in war, whatever. Okay. We can't be allied with Israel in one spot and against them somewhere else. That makes no sense. You know, you can't be patting somebody on the back out the front door, but trying to put a bullet in their head in the back door. I don't get it. Okay. And this policy, this foreign policy of appeasement, say what they want us to say what they, for us to say, speaking as politicians, for us to say what they want to hear, doesn't fly too well when you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You know, what's Israel supposed to think? The U.S. is on their side against Iran, but the U.S. is against them, against Hamas. What's the difference? A few months ago, Hamas attacked Israel. Yesterday, Iran attacked Israel. Somebody please explain to me what the difference is, besides the fact that Hamas did kill a bunch of Israelis where Iran didn't manage to. Okay. This is the problem we're running into, and this is where personally I'm worried. Okay, what this incompetence is going to lead us into. You know, Israel is a democratic state, okay, as opposed to us being a constitutional republic. Let me get that clear every time somebody wants to bitch about this, okay? But it's pretty close to the same concept, okay? Why are we supporting Ukraine? Ukraine's not a democracy. Hell, Zelensky canceled the elections. Joe's probably watching going, how can I do that? Not saying Russia's a democracy. Sure, you get to vote. There's one candidate on the ballot. That really makes it difficult to either vote yes, I want him to continue, or no, I don't. That doesn't do a whole lot of good. With this whole Israel thing, people were worried about Ukraine. Oh, we're going to have boots on the ground in Ukraine. Oh, NATO's going to be involved in Ukraine. Let's think about Israel for a second. Did you hear anything from the Brits, from the French, from the Germans? No. Israel pretty much has us, the U.S. I mean, other countries will say, yeah, we'll help, but they don't do next to anything about it. Ukraine, of course, because it's in Europe's backyard, they want to do something. So, we'll send a couple of boxes of bullets, but the Americans can send a bunch of tanks and airplanes and money. This is everybody else's idea. Israel, not so much. Israel doesn't come up and say, America, you have to do all this. Europe does. I mean, we have a better ally in Israel than we have in any country in Europe, because the only thing the Europeans are worried about is how much money can we soak out of the Americans. At least the politicians think that way. Israel pretty much can, for a time, stand on their own. But what is going to be Joe's response to this? Is Joe going to let Iran get away with it? Maybe. Joe's weak. One of the weakest presidents we've ever had. What happens when Iran goes, you know what? There's an aircraft carrier out in the Red Sea. Or there's a oil tanker headed to America that's in the Straits of Hormuz. Let's take that out. Hey, can always remember the USS Cole, right? Okay. What happens when the attack is on us? When it's not attacking the United States allies, when it's actually attacking us? That's the risk we have right now. The rhetoric coming out of Joe's mouth is not backed up by his actions. Trump came out last night and said, this would have never happened if I was in office. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's wrong. Trump was a stronger leader than Biden. There's no question. Okay. My daughter's old Little League coach was a stronger leader than Biden. But this is what we need to pay attention to and worry about. It was funny yesterday as I was out doing stuff in the yard. I wound up talking to a couple of people, one being my neighbor, okay, who comes up here every couple of months or whatever. Got a chance to talk to him for 5-10 minutes. One comment he made yesterday, he goes, if Trump doesn't win in November, we're screwed. He's right. Talked to another guy yesterday. Never met him before. And all of a sudden he was, at the time this was coming out, he's like, oh yeah, I just got this off of Sputnik News. Mrs. P had seen the original stories off of RT and came running out to me. Because of course the Russian media was reporting on, Iran bombing Israel an hour before American media was, because, hey, it was Saturday and we were too busy out there drinking with our politics buddies, on the dime of some lobbyist. And he got to talking, and he's like, ex-military. I mean, he saw my truck, yeah, you ready in case this goes nuclear? Like, yeah. He goes, yeah, I've got my masks, my NBC suit, my iodide tablets, et cetera, et cetera. Then he's talking, I mean, he went off for 20 minutes about being a patriot. I'm just kind of, good to know there's people out there, loose lips sink ships. But this is a blurb. It'll be glazed over by the mainstream media. They'll talk about it for a little bit, and then they won't worry about it. But what happens when the next step is taken, and the next one? And then what happens is when some ICBM comes flying over Washington, D.C. How ready are you? It's getting closer. We're overdue for a war, guys, a world war. It's been 70 years, 80 years since the world has had a major war. It's a long time. Little skirmishes, Korea, Vietnam, they weren't exactly small. Afghanistan, okay, Iraq, whatever. When you get continents at war, that's when we have issues. And we're real close to that. Don't get complacent. Enjoy your life, no question. But do not act like a sheeple and just go, oh, Joe's got it under control. It doesn't affect me. Yeah. When you see a shooting star in the middle of the day go across the horizon, it's too late.